Good morning, everyone. This is the TED Talk for the group We're Too Old for This. My name is Hunter Murphy, and this is the views, experiences, and opinions of myself, Nicole Linares, Zoila Gonzalez, and Devin Stein. So, in this talk, we were asked to describe what is leadership in a more broad scope than we have in the rest of this class. Leadership is a quality that we can study for a semester, a year, or even 10 years, and we still can't be able to define it accurately. There's no one clear way to define leadership for each individual singular person. We have learned that there are many different leadership styles that work for different people. We also learned that people will most likely need to shop around and use different leadership styles in the same leadership role that they're currently holding or that they might be holding in the future. We all agree that we need to adapt the type of leader that we need to be, depending on the situation, to be the best leader for that situation that we can possibly be. We explored this a little bit with the article that was titled Play With Yourself. In this semester, I believe the people in this group and myself personally, and I believe the rest of the class, have made some great strides in our understanding of leadership. We've learned so much about emotional intelligence, the leadership grid, and so many other theories that we can use to advance our leadership styles in our own personal lives while we're in college and after we graduate. We have to find our own leadership styles that match our own personality and the personalities of the people that we're lucky enough to be leading. Now, with shopping around for different leadership styles, of course, you're going to find some leadership styles that, while they're effective, may not work with your personality. And part of being a leader is working with those different styles to the best of your ability. So even though they don't mesh with your style, and even though they might not be the best leadership style that goes with your personality, it still might be the best leadership style for the situation. Okay, so moving on to some specific things that we think should be highlighted in the talk of what is leadership, because we can't accurately define it completely. We would like to highlight how we came into the semester, and then one of the major things that we think should be talked about whenever the question, what is leadership, is addressed. Pretty much everybody in the group came into the semester with an attitude of do it yourself if you want it done right. We were very much lead by example, and we had this drilled into us from day one here at Fresno State. So at the end of the semester, so right about now, we probably still are like that to some degree, but we're also much more flexible and feel much more comfortable playing around and kind of finding our true selves in leadership. We're much more willing to try different styles and see how it does and how it works with us and with other people. We all have high expectations of our peers and the people that we work with, which is kind of how we found our group. We had some pre-existing relationships, and we all knew that we really enjoyed high-quality work. So that's how we developed the attitude of if you want it done right, do it yourself, because we have high expectations, and so we want those expectations met. We believe that the most productive teams are led by a leader who isn't afraid of doing the tasks that they delegate to the team members. So a leader never removes themselves from the work that has to be done. We recognize also that we are far from perfect leaders. We are probably one of the most farthest away from perfect leaders that we can get. In fact, there's not really a single person on the planet that's a perfect leader. We all have our shortcomings. A good and potentially great leader needs to be self-aware enough to know that they can use any situation to grow. If you're constantly looking for an opportunity to grow, you will not become stagnant and lose that self-awareness. A great leader is not a strong dictator who is constantly showing their team how strong and all-knowing they are. They're able to show how they're human and make mistakes, and that is what's going on. That is what is going to get their team on board and working well towards a common goal. Now, we haven't really changed from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester because change is a slow-moving action, right? We can't implement this massive amount of change in 4, 5, 6 months. It's going to be a number of year-long process. But we now have the tools to implement this in our lives, and we really have started down the road to start this change. Now, we've talked about leadership everywhere, and we've talked about it being everywhere. Even we've seen in the movies where we picked apart leaders from the top to the bottom. But when we even still think of leaders, what do we think of? We think of CEOs in their sharp suits, or rich business people who are considered great leaders. But where do they come from? We see them as successful adults who just get it. We don't think of the young adults that they came from. Have we seen every different leadership style that they've tried? Definitely not. But that's what leadership is. Leadership is us. The kids in college right now studying leadership, finding their true leadership selves, and really just rolling with it and becoming the great leaders of the next generation. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk, and I hope that you all had a wonderful semester. I know we did. Go Dogs.